Check this out, yo. I just thought about this. I was looking at this picture the other day, and I'm trying to find Holy Father in there, man. Cause like, you can see Holy Father sometimes, and like, but there's a lot of evil spirits too, man. It's like, they be bombarding and stuff, man. It's a trip. But anyways, man, I'm sitting there, and I'm looking at this picture. Next thing I know, man, Holy Father lights it up. And I'm like, holy shit, man. Yeah, you could see them fallen angels, man. They're locked up. Like, they're locked up. Like Holy Father says, man, they're locked up. You could see them in their areas, man. You could see, like, in this one area, there's like Poseidon or whatever, Poseidon and that one lady or whatever. I don't know how they married each other, but they really did. Just like the book of Enoch says, man. They took wives and they intermingled with like everything, man. So like when you're looking through that, when you're looking through there, you could see like fucking HR Puff and stuff. Those are real fucking demons, man. You could see the gremlins. You could see the cartoon characters that they're playing on the TVs today. You could see all those characters, man, that we've been watching through time on TV. Those are fucking fallen angels and evil spirits, man. It's a trip. HR Puff and stuff is like a fucking demon, man. It's like I don't know what the frick it is, man. It's like I call it the Bernstein bearfish. And it trips me out because, like, when I'm looking into that world, I can see them evil spirits. And when I'm at home, them evils, their children, like, you can see the fallen angels and you can see the wives that they took. They're locked up. And it's just like Holy Father said, they've got children. And their children are the evil spirits that manifest on the planet because that's where Holy Father says they are. And they're here. And it's a trip because like I look into that world and I could see all them fallen angels and the wives that they took and how they intermixed with all the creation and what they look like and what their children look like in that world. And then here when I'm on the planet, you can see their children running around in the human bodies, driving around and shit and popping up in the houses. And it's a trip because before the flood, it talks about how they were mating and how they were still having children. Well, it's a trip, man, because you'll see a 6-year-old walking around that's 6,000 plus years, but he's still in that 6-year-old body. So it's a trip, man, when you can see and you're looking at a 6-year-old or even an infant. And them some bitches is looking right at you, man, fucking yelling at you like the lollipop kids, you know? You know how they made that Wizard of Oz? Because the Wizard of Oz talks about the corruption of the world and it's like a subliminal, it's like a back, I don't know how they call that, but like a back, it's got like a second story, you know what I mean? That's, behind it. And you got them lollipop kids. We represent the lollipop kids. Those are a fucking aerial. Man, it's a trip. It's a trip, man. It's a trip. But I made this video because, like, I was sitting there looking, man, and I could see Holy Father, and I'm like looking up on the mountain, and you could see them blowing their winds and making, whatever creatures they want to make because they blow winds. It's a trip, man. You could look up in the clouds, man, and you could see them floating, making big old perverted faces over the recreational centers and everything. They're a bunch of gross, overgrown chomos, man. It's disgusting dealing with them because, I mean, that's all it's about is child molestation. There's a reason why there's a hell. Holy Father didn't just come up with it, man. They have manipulated such gross spirit. I wake up in the morning and I'm listening to my TV just pop rounds. And you could hear these fucking evil spirits and these fallen angels just sitting there running their mouths, running spells. I woke up one night and you could see I looked into my TV and it was like, man, you could see thousands of fucking ghosts just going back and forth, literally just looking right into people's houses, looking for syndromatic sins. It's gross to watch the manipulation of witchcraft and spiritual drunkenness that they have portrayed upon Holy Father, Holy Jesus, and their children. It's no joke. I was going to make a video called Land of the Lost. Because, like, when I'm looking over into the spiritual world, I can see all them funky monkey animals. Fish people, whatever, they screwed every damn thing. Trees, you could see them, they're fucking trees. It's like literally, just like the Wizard of Oz, but you're seeing the real spirits. So when you're going through the abysses and all that, you can see the trees. You can see how they literally wove themselves into the tree. So you're looking at a fucking tree that's looking right at you speaking. Blah, blah, blah. Dead damn serious, man. You can look down their forest and you can see the faces in every single tree of every different monster. And then in the trees you can see their houses where they're kept. Where Holy Father kept them in the abysses or whatever. You could see them locked up there. You could see Poseidon or, the Little Mermaid and all them. Because those are real creatures, man. You could see Poseidon. You could see his wife. And then you could see the Little Mermaid fish dogs and all that, their children below them. Because you can see where they're locked up, the fallen angels and their wives. And then you can see over here where it says straight up, Holy Father's got all them locked up. And I can't even imagine how many of them there is, because he started to light it up a little bit to where I could start to kind of calculate numbers, but it wasn't numbers, it was just quantities. And when he lit up the quantities in there, you could see, man, that there's thousands, I don't know how many of evil spirits and how many children. But I call it the Land of the Lost because, like, I was sitting there looking for Holy Father, and there's like this big cave. And I was trying to look inside that cave on the top of the mountain, because it always talks about the mountains, man. And you can see Holy Father's right there on that top mountain, the tallest one it talks about in Enoch, in the center. It says there's one mountain that's taller than the rest. And that's where Holy Father is. So I was like looking in that mountain and there's like a little cave in there. And I was thinking of Land of the Lost. Because literally before the flood there was dinosaurs and all kind of stuff. And they intermingled with all that. It's a trip, man. I'm looking at gremlins. All kind of stuff. I'm like, what the frick is that? What is it? What did you screw to become that? What did you mix up to become that creature? H.R. Puffin stuff, what the fuck are you? Ugly, chomo, transvestite, Elvis, freaky looking damn thing. Bernstein, freaking transvestite, girl, boy bear. I don't even get it. That's the shit they worship, man. I seen them fallen angels, man, and they are big old goob chomes. And their children run around on this planet, and that's why I was going to call it Land of the Lost, because when I'm in my backyard, I can see the evil spirits. And that's what I was saying, it's a trip, man. Land of the Lost. They died still having children. So when you watch The Wizard of Oz next time, you're looking at the lollipop kid. You're looking at some woman walk down the street with her little 5-year-old. You wonder how old that 5-year-old really is, man. It trips me out to be sitting there listening to a 5-year-old, smile at my kids and then walking behind them grabbing their nuts. Trying to push syndromatic sicknesses into them, looking at me going, I got your kid's balls. Straight up, man. Or looking at a fucking piece of shit next door, a subliminal perv rapist, 6,000 plus years old. I don't know how the old the son of a bitch is because it's a trip when you look at those evil spirits. You see the old ladies, then you see the young men and the young women, and all the way down into the fucking children. Like they literally got wiped out and never grew up. It's a trip to look at eternity because you're looking at a gross ass evil spirit driving around in a nice ass car, looking all pretty and fresh, 6,000 plus years old, saying fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, and then looking at your wife and going, hey, how you doing? And your wife's going, that's our neighbor. And I'm going, no, sweetheart, I watch him drip into the house from the freaking clouds every day. And sit there and wait like a freaking drunk Pollock for your parents to come home so they can feed off their spirit. Cause subliminal sickness and bullshit in the house. Sit there and watch my family start getting pissed off, man, and there's a witch out in the front yard. They got all their lights on and they're like crackheads digging, trying to push that shit. Turmoil, chaos. There is a Harley Quinn. It's a child of the fallen angels. I could hear her screaming right now. Because literally, man, like they don't even, like that's how much jealousy and bullshit that goes on. They literally watch you every single day, try to rape and corrupt and pervert your family, and then go up before Holy Father and throw temper tantrums because they can't get their way with screwing your children, his children, and murdering and eating them. Because that's what they become. I see them driving down the street, sipping on blood, semen, and baby. Got their tongues hung out, sticking them in people's drawers as they're just shopping or trying to eat. They don't even realize it, man. They got a demon standing behind them with his tongue out. There's a reason why there's a hell. My stepdad come out the other day. Be quiet. They're all screaming. I woke up so pissed off this morning. How would you like it if you saw some big old fucking mammal trying to fuck your child? Or trying to subliminally beat him into unconsciousness. So he just fucking walks around fucking not liking anything because they watched him 24/7 to take away any kind of pleasure or anything that would fucking fulfill him. And then sit there and smile at you. And then have people tell you, oh, chill out. No, I ain't fucking chilling out, alright? My Holy Father is the one that actually keeps the pressure separated. Because of like, I was a drunk. If I would have got saved 10 years ago while I was an alkie or 20 years ago, I'd probably be in jail carrying baseball bat down the street because every time I'd see one, I'd fucking crack it. Because they ain't nothing about but getting in your drawers and raping your children and eating you. That's why I call it Land of the Lost, because I'm sitting there looking through the abysses and all the other worlds, and you could see these funky ass nasty creatures. Big old overgrown chomos sending their children out so they can get their jollies off. Sit there and make big old perverted googly clouds in front of Holy Father and try to make fun of his children because whatever sin that they can try to get them to entertain. They'll pop that face right up there just like the Twilight Zone. If you're down here sinning, they're going to pop that face right in front of Holy Father. I call it the land of the lost, because I'm looking through that funky ass abyss and I'm seeing all them weird ass animal creatures, tree creatures, everything they screwed. And then I come back home and I'm watching them drive around in brand new cars, 6-year-old bodies, 30-year-old bodies, and they ain't never aged a fucking second. Pray to Jesus.